All right, we're going to get into railings now, and you can see that I've created a few families. Actually, these are families that are already available to you. So railings are have some of the same issues that stairs do as far as dialog box and a lot going on. So it'll be we'll have to go into a lot of stuff to get them customized. But to create a kind of simple railing is pretty easy. So you just go into the under architecture railing, sketch a path or place on the stairs. So if I somehow deleted, I could just pick my stair and kind of it automatically throws it in there. It's giving me some warning. I think it's right there. It had some kind of vertical break it needed to do to make it continuous. So anyway, so that it's that easy to add a railing to a stair, but you can also then sketch. So I can make that whatever it is that I'm needing it to be, and voila. Whoa, load the family, don't want to do that. Then I say okay, and besides that it's on the wrong level, it creates it. Okay, so that's pretty cool. You have all the same kind of sketching tools that you normally have, so you can do it on curves or whatever. So the railing types that you already have loaded, there's 5 of them. So this one here is the glass panel with bottom fill, and I'll just go ahead and make these something maybe that it isn't. I'll just go down the line. So then that's the guardrail pipe. So the guardrail is this top piece, this one, and then the guardrail here with the rectangular, and then we have the handrail pipe. Now you'll notice that once you get to the handrail is down here on these. This one apparently wasn't high enough in the air that you would need the guardrail. Again, that's a code thing. A certain height you need to have another 6 inches, so this is probably at 36 inches and this is typically around 42. And then the last one is that. So each one of these might be a good way to kind of start out depending on what you're trying to do. But again, what I'm looking for from you guys is for you guys to express an intent. And so I'm not going to want you to use just kind of off the cuff these 5. I want you to be able to transform it into some kind of design intent. So everything that we're doing, we're trying to customize. Revit is really easy for you to just do what Revit does, already has in the built in, and that's not the way you design. You actually have to think about your design intent, and then what I'm going to do is show you different ways that you can trick Revit into allowing you to do the things that you want to do. Obviously, I'll be using kind of my own thoughts on that, but there are things that hopefully will help you move forward in your own design. So that's the just the quick railing, but let's kind of go in a little bit further of what inside of the edit type there is. So, I guess first we should look at at these properties. So let's see, what would be a good thing to do? I'm going to just go ahead and sketch this path. I'm going to make sure I'm on the right level. I'm going to make it right on the edge of this floor. So we'll just go ahead and sketch the path from here to there, and then from there to here. And let's look at that. Okay, so let's pretend that this is kind of some kind of balcony, you know, and there's an overlook. So I have this. So if I now shift the base, like say 6 inches, let's see what happens. So it went up. Now that doesn't make a lot of sense, right? But if it's on the edge and it's somehow attaching to the floor, perhaps going like -4 inches might make a lot of sense, right? So then you can actually attach this floor. So that's what that property does. Now let's say that it doesn't do that. And then offset from your path. So let's see what that does, 6 inches. So let's say that you wanted to you know, always be inside of that. Maybe there's a planter you're always going to have. But you want it to be aligned with the edge and locked onto that, but it's always going to be, you know, 18 inches in. And then you can build your planter. That would be how you do that. Now, if you're going to do this like -4, and you want to make sure that the rail itself is outboard, then you might need to do that, you know, 1 inch, so that it always kind of stays, you know, maybe 1 inch was a little bit much, but you know, you understand. I might have to, you know, maybe it's, you know, 3/4 of an inch. I'd have to go and find out what exactly that diameter was of that railing, but you can see that now, besides maybe at that corner, you know, we've got a pretty good situation. So those are the parameters here at the edge. I'll go back to 0 because I don't have any design intent right now. Now let's go in and edit the type. So then we get into a lot of stuff, right? You know, we can adjust the top rail height. You can say that that's actually going to be, you know, 48 inches now. You know, and you can see what happened. So that guardrail suddenly went way up in the air. We'll just go back. And you can change the type for that top rail. I really wish they would call it guardrail, but oh well. So once you get into here, suddenly now we got a lot of other, you know, stuff that we can adjust. So I can go to like say 2 inches, and you can see that shifted it to make room for like it to attach to this in a different way. I don't think that's what I want to do. All right, I'm not sure what it was. It's probably 3/4. All right, so that changes that. You can go in and you can see kind of what other shapes have already been placed in. We'll go into certain aspects later of how to create those. Simple transitions, goosenecks, so we'll get into that maybe later. We can add then some material. We can put in, you know, if this is the bottom of a stair coming down, you typically want it to have a 1 foot or at least 1 tread width of length beyond to get it up to code. So I could add that so it's gone beyond. And then I would probably want to do it here. So again, this is like all the dialog boxes. So I got to remember that I'm in circular 1.5. Just curious to see what this does. you really do have to play around. Okay. So if it was hitting a wall and it had some kind of termination in that wall, this would make a lot of sense. It's not what's going on right now, so we won't do that. So this is also things that it wants to know, kind of how it's going to extend. Ooh, that was good. Let's get over that thing again. So here you go. You can see none, no return. We have a wall return, so that's number 2. We have a floor, and we have a post. So back to the post. So all those become important for understanding how this thing's going to terminate on these extensions. So see if it does. Okay, so there you see how it did to that post, and see how it did to that. One thing I might want to look at, that circular 1/2 probably affected, yeah. So you got to be careful. I started monkeying around, and you can see all these other types. I guess that type is this one, but this one here started to affect it. So you do want to be careful and always duplicate so that you can start to, you don't, like if you had this family somewhere else and you didn't want to have that extension, suddenly I kind of mucked that up. So I don't want to have to go in and change that family and get it right. So that's the introduction to Railings. We'll get into some other things later about how to really customize it to a design intent. All right, thanks guys.